My name is Xiomara Yonsu Perez Ramirez. Chapter 4. The Deaf Showball. Down the hall, Mrs. Foss was tenderly licking the stump of Mr. Foss till to stop bleeding. It was the fine tale for miles around. She said victim licks. It hurt, said Mr. Foss. I know it does, sweeter, but it soon had better. And it will soon grow iron, that, said Anne of the small Foss. It will never grow iron, said Mr. Foss. I shall be tailless for the rest of my life. I look very glum. There was no fuss for the Fosses that night, and soon the children dozed off. Then Mrs. Foss dozed off, but Mr. Foss clowns smiled because on the pain in the stump of his tail. Well, he thought, I suppose I'm lucky to be alive at all. At night, they found or all. We're going to have to move out as soon as possible. I never had any peace. If we're what was that? He turned his head sharply and listened. The noise he heard now was the most frightening noise a folk can ever hear. The same scraping of sheep digging into the soil. It up, I shouted. Their digging was at Mrs. Foss was wide awake in a second. She sat at quivering all over. Are you sure that is? She wits impossible, Liz. They killed my children, cried Mrs. Foss. Never said Mr. Foss, but darling, the will, sobbed Mrs. Foss. You know the will.
Squat, squat, squat went the shovel above their heads. Small stones and bits of earth began falling from the walls of the tunnel. "How will they kiss us, Mommy?" asked one the small fox. His round black face was pure with pride. "Will this his dog?" he said. Mr. Fox began to cry. His rattling, his four children closed the hair and held it tight. Suddenly there was an especially loud crash above their heads, and the sharp end of a shovel came right off the ceiling. The sight of this awful thing seemed to have an electric effect on Bob. Mr. Fox, his jumped up and shouted, "I can't go here! Come on, there's no moment to lose. Why didn't I think of it before? Think of what's that? A fox can be faster than a man." Shouting Mr. Fox beginning to die. Nobody in the world can live as quick as fox. The soil began to fly out furiously because Mr. Fox as he started to give for their life with his front feet. Mr. Fox ran forward to save him. So did the four children. "Cut Drawer," ordered Mr. Fox. "We have got to go deep, as deep we possibly can." The tunnel began to grow longer and longer. It slowly downward, deeper and deeper along the surface of the ground in when the mother and the father and all four the children were gathered together. Their four legs were moving so fast you couldn't see them. about an hour, Mr. Fox stopped giggling. "Oh, if," he said, "they are stopping the tunnel and looking back. The long tunnel they have just built." All was quiet. "Phew," said Mr. Fox. "I think we had given it. They'll never get as bitter as you were done, everyone. They are so damn hiding for rates." And Mr. Fox said to her children, "I should like you to know that it wasn't for your father. We should do this by now. Your father is a fantastic fox." Mr. Fox looked at his wife and she said she loved her more than ever when she said things like that.
Chapter 5. The Terrible Tractors. As the sun rose the next morning, Boggs and Vance and Bean were still digging. They had dug a hole so deep you could have, have put a house into it, but they had not yet come to the end of the Fox tunnel. They were all very tired and cross. "Damn blast," said Baggies. "Whose rotten idea was this?" "Bean's idea," said Vance. Baggies and Vance both stared at Bean. Bean took another swig of cider, then put the flag back into his pocket without offering it to the others. "Listen," he said angrily. I want that fox. I'm going to get that fox. I'm not giving until I've strung it up over my front porch. Did as dumpling. Did as a dumpling. We can get him by digging. That's for sure," said the fat bogies. "I've had enough of digging." Vance, the little pot-bellied dwarf, looked up at Bean and said, "Have you got any more stupid ideas, then?" "What?" said Bean. "I can hear you. Bean never took a bath. He never even washed. As a result, his earholes were clogged with all kinds of muck and wax and bits of chewing gum, and dead files and stuff like that. This made him deaf. "Speak louder," he said to Bones, and Bones shouted back, "Got any more stupid ideas?" Being rubbed the back of his neck with a dirty finger. He had a boil coming there and it itched. "What we need on this job," he said, "is machines, mechanical shovels. Well, I'll have him out in 5 minutes with mechanical shovels." This was a pretty good idea, and the other two had to admit. "All right then," Bean said, taking charge. "Bogies, you stay here and see the fox doesn't escape. Bones and I will go and fetch our machinery. If he tries to get out, shoot him quick. The long dim bean walked away. The tiny bones trotted after him. The fat bogies stayed where he, he was with his gun pointing at the foxhole. Soon, two enormous caterpillar tractors with mechanical shovels on their front ends came clacking into the wood. Pin was driving one, Vance, Vance the other. The mechanics were both, both black. They were murderous, brutal-looking monsters. "Here we go, then," shouted Pin. "Deed to the fox," shouted Bones. The machines went to work, beating huge mouthfuls of soil out of the hill. The victory under which Mr. Fox had dug his hole in the first place was toppled like a matches. On all sides, dogs were sent flying, and trees were falling, and the noise was deafening.
Hi teacher, my name is Gustavo Matias Reyes Quispe. I will continue with chapter 5. Down in the tunnel the foxes crouched, listening to the terrible clanging and banging overhead. "What's happening, Dad?" cried the small foxes. "What are they doing?" Mr. Fox didn't know what was happening or what they were doing. "It's an earthquake," cried Mrs. Fox. "Look," said one of the small foxes. "Our tunnels was shorter. I can see daylight." They all looked round, and yes, the mouth of the tunnel was only a few feet away from them now. "Tractors," shouted Mr. Fox, "and mechanical shovels. Dig of your life. Dig, dig, dig." Now there began a desperate race, the machines against the foxes. In the beginning, the hill looked like this. After about an hour, as the machines beat away more and more soil from the hilltop, it looked like this. Sometimes the foxes would weigh a little ground, and the clanking noises would grow fainter, and Mr. Fox would say, "We're going to make it. I'm sure we are." But then a few moments later, the machines would come back at them, and the crunch of the mighty shovels would get louder and louder. Once the foxes actually saw the sharp metal edge of one of the shovels as it scraped up the air just behind them.
"Keep going, my darlings," panted Mr. Fox. "Don't give up. Keep going." The fat boogies abouted the bones and pinned. "We'll get him any moment now. Have you got sick of him yet?" Pink called back. Not yet. But I think you're close. I'll pick him up with my bucket. I'll chop him to please. But by lunchtime, the machines were still at it. And so were the poor foxes. The hill now looked like this. The farmers didn't stop for lunch. They were too current to fit the hub. Hey there, Mr. Fox, yelled Bones, leaning out of his character. We're coming to get you now. You have had your last chicken. You're at boogies. You'll never come prowling around me. The tall skinny bean and Darwich, both Willit, Puns were driving their machines like maniacs, racing the motors and making sure stake at a terrific speed. The fat buggies was hopping about like a dervish and shouting, "Faster, faster!" By 5 o'clock in the afternoon, this is what had happened to the hill. The machines had dug like the crater of a volcano. It was such an extraordinary, zigzag crowds of people came rushing out from the soaring village to have a look. They stood on the edge of the crater and stared down at the Buggies and Buns and Bane. Hey there, Buggies. What's going on? We're after a fox. You must be mad. The people heard and looked, but his only made the Grey farmers more furious and more obstinate and more determined than ever, not a heap up until they had caught the fox. Finish.